Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting MacWhisperer live broadcast. I'm Frank, I'm your host for today, and as always, we are thrilled to have you with us. So here's my question today. You ever found yourself scrolling endlessly through photos on your iPad, wondering where'd that picture go, or why is my iPad filled with blurry duplicates and random screenshots? Today's your day because we're diving deep into photos on iPad and showing you how to organize, search, edit, and enjoy your memories like you never did before. With iPad OS 18 and the power of Apple Intelligence, the Photos app just leveled up. Whether you want to clean up clutter, make custom memory movies, or finally understand your photos collections, this session's for you. Stick around for Dylan's MacWhisperer power tip, a next level photos feature that'll make you wonder how you ever lived without it. Our downloadable resource, of course, is available to you today, iPad Photos Smart Guide, step-by-step reference for using the Photos app like a pro. It's free, packed with expert tips, and only available here during this live broadcast. So you live loungers know what to do. Introduce yourself, please, in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and tell us what the strangest or most random photo you found in your library lately. Let's keep it fun, interactive. So we're going through a bunch of things. Don't forget your questions. I do my best. We do our best to answer everybody's questions. This is your opportunity to ask Dylan whatever tough Apple question you have. And if it's about photos on your iPad, even better. But without further ado,
You
let's
caught
get
me
into it.
adjusting my microphone.
Did I?
That's right. I was fixing it. I was like, I'll be done before he cuts to me. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. This is where my microphone is. I had to fix it.
The transition was quicker than usual today. Let me just fill you in on this last bit because I like this one. The man who helps you unlock every pixel of your potential. Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer.
Boom, boom. I like that intro. Did you write that one down this time, Frank? I really think it's a good one.
We're going to keep that one.
Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome. One of the things that is most valuable about our Apple devices is the way that it allows us to capture and organize our memories. The way you take photos on your phone and your iPad has changed so much in the last 20 years. I mean, you may think Dylan's young, but Dylan predates digital photography by a lot. I used to go out on vacations with my dad, and back in those days, we didn't have digital cameras. You had standard cameras, and you had rolls of film that were like 24 pictures. And my dad was like a Nazi. You would never, ever, ever get a chance to take more than 2 pictures on a vacation because he was sure the kids didn't know how to take pictures. They were going to be blurry, they were going to be crap. You'd bring home your 24 pictures from a full 3-week vacation and you'd develop them, and that would be the end of it. But with digital photography, your photographs and your memories are kept alive. Not only are we not limited by how many shots are in a roll of film and how much it costs to develop film, but we've got cameras on all of our devices. And when you use the Apple ecosystem, whether you're taking pictures on your computer, your phone, or your iPad, they all synchronize together with iCloud. The way you organize, manage, and edit your photos on the iPad matters. There are major changes made to the Photos app with iPadOS 18, and they confuse the heck out of people, just like all the changes on the iPhone confuse the heck out of people. So what we're here to do today is clarify that it's not really that complicated and how to get around, and make sure that you can use the tools on your iPad to synchronize, organize, edit, share, and manage your photos, regardless of whether you took that photo on your iPad, from your computer, or from your phone. So that's kind of the basic topic of what we're going to get into today. I spend a huge amount of time teaching, managing, and organizing my photo library because I take a ton of pictures. And this has been a great experience for me to do it on the iPad. I usually do it on the computer. And I was kind of shocked. And I'm really excited to say the iPad is almost as good as the computer and better than the phone with photos. And that says a lot for me. So if you are an iPad user, if you've been dabbling with photos a little bit on the iPad. We're going to teach you some tools today that are going to make it easier, and they're going to replicate things you can do on both your computer and your phone if you choose to. That's what we got.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
I do want to say we've got a new member. I saw him join. His name is R. Neil Capper. I assume it's a real name. R. Neil, welcome. So glad to have you as a member of our YouTube MacWhisperer community. That's a growing community. You'll find a lot of awesome people in the chat that are going to be checking with you and helping you out and asking questions. Anything you need, bring it into the chat. We'll make sure it gets handled. I'm ready to jump in. Are you ready to jump in, Frank?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Let's
pumped.
pull up the iPad.
Let's do it. Here we go.
All right. Let me change my screen so I can see you a little bit bigger here. Hold on. Perfect. Okay. Welcome to my iPad. I'm going to start us off by clicking on the Photos app that's held on at the bottom of my dock here. When you first open up the Photos app after iPadOS 18, it can be really overwhelming. You see, on earlier versions, the Photos app had several different pages. One page was for your library, one page was for albums, and one page was for smart albums and other stuff like that. But in iOS 18 and iPadOS 18, the entire Photos interface got changed to give you everything you need on one page instead of in 3 or 4 pages. But people open it up and they go, I don't understand. They get all lost. Don't get lost. When you first open it up, this is your home view or your home screen. The home screen shows your photo library up at the top. That's this right here. And it shows your collections and albums down below. To get into the photo library, all you're going to do is put your finger on it and pull down. Now I'm in my photo library. If you want to get out of your photo library, you click the X at the bottom and you go back to the home screen. From here, if I want to explore some of the organization, some of the albums, folders, and what Apple calls collections, I scroll up. Here we'll see all sorts of collections and all sorts of options. Now I'm going to give us a little bit of a better overview, but I'm going to start with the Photos library because there's a few things here we want to talk about. So again, from this home screen, just pull down. Not the end of the world. Super simple. When you're inside of the Photos library, the first thing you should do is adjust the size of the photos that you see. You can pinch inwards, which will allow you to see more pictures, but they're teeny tiny. Or you can spread outwards with your fingers, and I'm just using my fingers, just pinching and spreading to get to a good size. I recommend finding the size that is a mixture of a good size of the photograph plus a good number of photos. This is generally where I'm going to work. Now, I could go one size larger, but then I can only see 6 photos at a time, and that makes it really, really hard for me to organize things. So I'd rather have it about here where I can see probably 30 photos at a time, ballpark. I'm not counting. Some mathematician can count and tell me I'm wrong, that it's 24, but whatever, 30-ish pictures. Within the Photos library, there's a couple of things to be aware of. First thing, on the upper right-hand corner, you've got this little profile button. That profile button shows you your status. Are you synchronized? How many photos do you have? How many videos do you have? It'll also alert you if you've got new things in your shared library, if somebody sent new photos to you, if you've sent photos to somebody else and they haven't clicked on them yet, as well as additional tools. The purpose of the profile section is to get you to most of your important settings without having to leave the app. Super valuable, super helpful. If you've ever wondered, why hasn't that picture shown up on my phone even though I took it on my iPad, come to the profile and right here where it says synced with iCloud right now, it probably says sync paused for battery issues, and you can click on it to force it to synchronize. So the profile is a great place to check if something's not working right or you want to change a setting. Now, down at the bottom, there is this navigation bar that gives us 3 options: years, months, and all. I am constantly running into people who have manually organized their entire photo library of tens of thousands of pictures by dragging them into folders by year. To which I say, did you not know that Apple already did that for you? Here they are. all sorted by year. So if you're one of those people who is constantly filing by year, stop it. It's automatic. Your photographs have a date and time stamp on them that the computer can see and can automatically put things into the proper year without you messing with it. Now, I do want to note, if you are scanning an old photograph in, it's not going to have the right date, but you can change that date. We're not going to talk about it today, but don't manually put things into folders. Get the dates right. Okay. When we're in the year view, which sorts everything by year, it basically gives us one image for each year. The image, and I love this fact, people don't know this at all, but the image that is shown is based on the current date. So if you are looking at this view on Christmas Day, every year you're going to see pictures that you took at Christmas. In this particular case, we're at the beginning of April. I just had my wedding anniversary. So a lot of the pictures here are, that's my honeymoon from 2022. It makes sense that it's showing that as the picture because that was today 3 years ago. So as you look at the year view, recognize that the picture that is being shown is automatically selected based on the current date. Now, if I click on any one of these years, it's going to take me into the month view. So let's hop into 2022 since I'm in wedding mode all of a sudden. I'm going to go into 2022. And now if you look down at the bottom, you'll notice we're no longer in the year view. We're now in the month view. If we look here, we're going to see here are photos from March of 2022, including my wedding on March 21st. Now, as you can see, it shows a summary of events that happened during this month. It does not show all of them. There were more pictures taken than this handful. But if I click on any one of the additional squares, like the one here that says 21, it's going to take me from the month view into the all view where I will see everything in chronological order. In most cases, you should be in the all view when you're looking for stuff, unless you 100% know what year or month it was in. The reason to jump to the year view is because it's easy to jump back in the past without scrolling for 7 months. It's also easy to get back to the future without scrolling for several months. Here's your first power tip from, is Manny here? Is Manny in the house? Manny's in the house. Manny, this is the power tip for you. Our first one, there's several of them coming today. If you are way up in a list, like I'm going to show you here, I'm all the way back in 1925. Now, if I want to quickly get to the bottom of the list, all I have to do is click the years button at the bottom of the navigation bar. So when I tap on years, it jumps me right to the bottom. Now, doesn't just do that in year mode. If I am in the all section and I get myself all the way back, we're now, woo! See how much harder it is to scroll when you're doing it that way? It takes forever. So wait till it catches up. All right, we are in August of 2023, and I would like to see current pictures. Do I have to scroll down for the next 3 days? No. Click where it says all at the bottom, and it will jump you right to the latest picture quickly. So I don't want to see you scrolling back and forth forever. Use the tools we've got to jump quickly. Use years or months to navigate to the right area. Go into the all section from there. And that's the way you're going to find it. Now, the all section has 2 different sort styles, and this is really important and everybody gets this confused. There is the date the photograph was taken. So in the case of this picture of my son and his new pair of glasses, this picture was taken yesterday. As a result of it being taken yesterday, and I haven't taken any new pictures since then, it's showing up at the bottom of my library. But what if I imported an old photograph into my photo library? What if somebody sent me an old email like, here's a picture of you 20 years ago, and I added it to my library? Where does it go? Does it go to the bottom of the library? No, because that photo was taken 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It wasn't taken 5 minutes ago, but I just added it in 5 minutes ago. How am I supposed to find it, Dylan? Do I have to remember exactly what day it was shot? And then I have to scroll through my pictures until I find the, no, don't be stupid. The bottom left corner here, there are these dual arrows. I'm going to click on them, and they have 2 options at the top. I can either sort by recently added or by date captured. Date captured is when the photograph was taken. Recently added is when the photograph was added to my library. So if I change the view to recently added, which I didn't want to do, we're going to do it again. Come on. Yes, recently added. You will notice there are new pictures after the picture with my son because I added these two pictures here at the end yesterday. But those pictures were taken, I'm sorry, I added them this morning, but these pictures were taken last week. So by organizing things by recently added, you will find the photographs that you added into your library regardless of what day they were taken. This is really helpful when someone sends you an old photograph like this one here and you don't know where it went. Change your sort view to recently added and then change it back if you want to go back to the other order. It's super easy to reorganize by just clicking that button. I want to talk about that button for another moment before we hop off of it. But for clarity, the most important thing that button does is shift between date captured and date added. And if you have ever hunted for a picture that you just added from a text message from an email, this is how you solve that and stop hunting around. Okay. In addition to that tool, there's several other tools under those two arrows. Now, right here, you'll see both libraries, personal library, shared library. That has to do with the iCloud shared photo library. It's different from a shared album. It's a way to share all of your photos with your loved ones. So my wife and I have a shared library. This means when she takes pictures, I see them. When I take pictures, she sees them. You don't need to have that active if you're not using that, but I do. Coming down below, there are two really important settings. One is called the filter. And the filter has all sorts of tools. If you want to quickly see all of your favorite pictures, click favorites. That is now showing only my favorite images. If I want to see only my videos, click videos. Those are all of the videos that I've got currently in my photo library. If I want to see only pictures that I've edited, click the edited button. That'll show you the photos that you have made changes to or edited. And you can add those together. So for example, if I want to see my favorite photos that I've edited, I can click both of them. Manny's still here. Manny, you haven't left the building, right? Manny's still here, Frank? He's still here. Here's your second power tip. Like I said, there's a lot of them coming and I'm just going to scatter them around. Power tip number 2. The biggest question I get asked about organizing photos is the following. Why does my library show pictures that I've already put into albums? See, people are under this concept that the library is the things that aren't in albums, but it's not. The library is everything. So people get really confused because they're like, hey, here's this picture here, but I already put that picture in an album. Why is it still in the library? Now you can fix that. And I want to be clear. This only works on iPad OS 18.4, which was released on Monday. So if you're not on 18.4 and you don't see this option, that's why. It was just added. That's why we created this video for today, was because we knew it would be released on Monday. This is fresh news. So if you would like to see only the pictures that are not inside of an album already. In other words, your unsorted photos, the ones that are in the library and haven't been put away, you can do it really easily now. Click the 2 arrows, go to the filter section, and you will see something at the bottom that says not in an album. By clicking that, it will only show you the photos that have not been put away yet. Now, I'm a stickler about putting things away. So in a lot of cases, I'm not going to see a lot of pictures here. I've been busy the last week. I haven't put the last week's ones away. But by turning that on, you immediately eliminate anything that's in an album. Just like that. And I think it's really, really, really important for people who are starting to organize by albums to recognize it's a quick and easy way to go, oh, those are the things that need to be filed. And then you file them. When we come back from our first break, we're going to talk about managing and organizing. I'm not going to get into that here. Let's turn off that filter. Coming back to the 2 dots, the 2 arrows, at the bottom you will see View Options. And View Options can allow you to customize how your photo library looks perpetually. Here you can choose to zoom in or zoom out. I still think pinching and spreading is easier, but hey, if you want to do it by button, that's how you do it. And then down here it says show screenshots, shared with you, and the shared library badge. I'm going to explain the three of them. Screenshots. We all take too many screenshots. Can we admit it? Frank, you take too many screenshots, right? Yeah, right? Like screenshots of random stuff that is just going to get in your way for the next 10 months. If you turn off screenshots in your photo library, you won't have to trip across them and you can find them separately in the screenshots section we're going to talk about. For me, I take so many screenshots. You see how many things just popped in front of us? These are things from a YouTube video I'm working on. I don't need them in my photo library, but I can't delete them yet. So by unchecking screenshots, I'm only seeing the actual pictures, not these random screenshots that I've taken. You choose for yourself whether to leave screenshots on or off. For me, I'm going to leave them off. Down below that, we've got shared with you. This is a new functionality in the last year. If somebody sends you a photo via text or via email, your photos library will add it. We shouldn't say add it. Your photos library will show it in your library with a little icon of either an email or of a little text message. This is telling you that this particular photo was shared with you, but you have not added it yet. If my dad is a frequent recipient of all of his kids and grandkids send him text messages of photos all the time, and he never adds them in. So by making sure that shared with you is checked on, those photos will show up in his library before he even adds them. For me, I have people sending me pictures of their computer and pictures of problems and pictures of issues all the time. And when somebody does send me a photo via text or email, I add it myself automatically. So I actually don't need that setting on, but you might. Down below, it talks about the shared library badge. If you are not yet using the shared library, turn that off. If you are using the shared library, make sure that's on. If you want more information about the shared library, we did a YouTube live about it like a month ago, Frank. Yeah, so you can go look that up. We'll be making a standalone YouTube video for it at some point in the future, but the list is really long of what I'm trying to create right now, and it's not at the top. The shared photo library is a fantastic tool, but if you are not using it, turn that off too. Eliminate the distractions by coming into those double arrows and adjusting your sort, adjusting your filters, and adjusting what does or doesn't get shown in the library. Period. Where's my list? Is that my whole list? Sorting filters. Let's go to the main room, Frank. Let's take a break for a moment.
You did it without even looking at the agenda, didn't you?
I did.
It just comes naturally.
I knew where my break point was because the photo library needs its own section.
Yeah.
So, yay me, no agenda.
I think we should talk a little bit about the YouTube membership because that's going to be changing in a couple of weeks. You want to?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that.
So
bring that up.
Great. A lot of people ask me, what are the different ways to work with me? And one of the ways you can work with me is by becoming a member of my YouTube channel. By becoming a member of my YouTube channel, you are supporting us to make videos. You're giving me additional resources so that I can put more time into making more videos. But there are other perks involved as well that include the ability for you to pop in front of other people when you comment on my videos or show up in a live stream. If you look in the chat section, you're going to see lots of people with a little green arrow to a little green apple to the right of their name. Those are the members. I can see members way easier than I can see non-members on every video, on every live stream. This allows me to connect with you more personally. This allows me to give you more and focus on you more. But the single biggest perk that's about to happen, and we're going to wait till the end of this month to do it, these calls are going to stop being available for free members, or for free YouTube viewers. Starting in May, these live calls that we've been doing every week for the last, several months, will become a members only perk. And you can have access to these live streams with any level of membership, the 99-cent level all the way to the $20 a month level. And I appreciate every person who has become a member, regardless of whether it's 99 cents or $20. It really, really helps. And as we turn from being available for everyone to just for the members, we're going to be able to do more with these lives. We're going to be able to give more. We're going to be able to promote less because you'll already be a member. So you'll hear me talk about the members in the next month, but once it's a members only live call, we won't need to have that conversation because you'll already be a member. There's one other major perk, and this is thank you, Jeff. Welcome, Jeff.
Welcome,
Thank
Jeff.
you. Appreciate you. Thank you for trusting us. The other biggest perk of being a YouTube member is access to our smart guides. We are going to, because these live videos are going to stop being public, the smart guides are only going to be available to members, YouTube members, or MacWhisperer Academy students. And we'll talk about that a little later. It's a higher level of working with me. But if you love our smart guides and you want to keep up with them, if you are a $10 or $20 a month member, you will get smart guides in a better way. For the $10 member, we will send you the weekly smart guide via email directly to your inbox without you having to do anything every week. That means you don't have to show up and you'll get this smart guide. For the $20 members, we're going to give you access to our exclusive Smart Guides webpage. And we are, I don't know, moments away. I think by next Thursday, we'll be ready to release it. We're that close. This is going to give you access to the over 100 smart guides we've created. We've separated them into separate categories, and we're building new smart guides rapidly. Welcome, Charmaine.
Yes.
I remember you from last week, Charmaine. I'm glad you came in.
She's
Thanks
very
for joining
active
us
in the
again.
chat. She's going to be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. So understand that being a member is a great perk for you because of the smart guides, because of the live broadcasts, because of my ability to call you out on either a live chat or inside of a video if you comment on it. I prioritize my members, but it's also a huge benefit to us and allows us to make more videos and do more of the things you love. So we're in this game together. Thank you for being a part of it.
There is
Looks
something
like we got another new member here. Bonnie Rose.
All right.
Welcome, Bonnie.
All right, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Welcome, Bonnie. Thank you so much for being here. I can't say thank you to each of you enough. This is allowing me to shift what has been my model for my business, driving around to people's houses 24/7 and fixing their computers, to being able to support all of you via YouTube videos and classes remotely. That is much more rewarding and allows me to give the wisdom that I have to more people. You're making that possible. So thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, our Neil Capper. I appreciate all of you. And that's enough of us blabbering. Let's get ourselves back into class.
Let's do it.
All right. So I left this screen on the photo library. I want to just remind you how easy it is to get out of the photo library. At the bottom, there's an X. I'm going to click it. Presto, I'm out of it. A lot of people are really thrown off by the new Photos layout because they used to like having all these separate pages and tabs. Why? Because they never went to them. They avoided 2/3 of the part of the Photos app, and now that everything's integrated, they're like, there's more things than I want to deal with. I only wanted to deal with the one thing I was using. That's great. I expect you to use your devices more and more, not get stuck in the, well, this is the way I've always done it. Nothing's ever changed with technology for the better, so I'm just going to keep doing it the way I did it 20 years ago. Not the truth. Things change and they improve. One of the improvements is what we're going to talk about next, which is the bottom half of this screen. Now, we pulled down like this to engage the photo library. We're going to just pull up like this to get into the other section. Not complicated. This section, we're going to call it the collections section. Collections is Apple's word for the different ways you can organize your photos. I don't like the word, but nobody asked me. So we just have to work with it. There are many, many different kinds of collections. Up at the top, you'll see one that says recent days. This shows photos from some of the most recent days that I've taken pictures. I can jump to my March 14th picture here. I can jump to what I did day before my anniversary. I can see what I did on my anniversary. I'm anniversary focused today. I don't know if you noticed that. We took so many great pictures at this anniversary. We had so much fun. So the recent days collection allows you to quickly get to pictures you recently took. Scrolling down, we're going to talk about this thing called the pinned collection. We're going to go all over that. It's going to be the last thing we talk about. To the right, we've got our people and pets section. This organizes all of your photographs by the people you take the most pictures of and allows you to quickly and easily create a group based on any people in the picture. So down below here, I can find any of my favorite people, and let's come right into, who do we want? I'll go into my dad. When you click on a person, it will show you all the pictures that you have in your library of that person. All sorts of pictures of my dad from all sorts of parts of our life together. Okay? Get me out of that. Oh, get me out of that. What did I get into? Oh, there we go. Okay. Um, in addition to going into individual people's, you can also create a group. If I click the create button in the upper right corner here, it's going to allow me to pick who I want to see pictures of. In this case, I would like to find pictures of me, my daughter, and my son. I click the add button at the top. It confirms. I can give it a name if I want to or add additional people. I'm going to click create. Come on. I click create and it's not going to do anything. Okay, I don't know why it didn't create it, but it will generally create albums automatically containing you and those people. So this is one that was created for my wife and I. And it will automatically add new pictures into that group as you take pictures with you and that person. So it's kind of like a smart group or a smart album, but on the iPad. I'm going to click the back arrow in the upper left-hand corner. We're going to keep talking about collections here. Scrolling down here, we see our albums, our shared albums, media type, utilities, and down at the bottom is the single most important part of this app. It's the button that says customize and reorder. So if I click on customize and reorder right here, it's going to open up so that I can see all of the different collections that are available. And you'll notice I've turned a couple off because I don't always need them. I'm going to turn them back on here and add all of those separate sections. You can then use the three lines on the right side of each of them to reorganize them. Unlike on the iPhone where it's only got one column, on the iPad it's got two columns. So you'll notice some collections like recent days take up the entire column. Featured photos also takes up the entire column, but the other ones can either be on the left column or on the right column. The right column is a little bit smaller, left column is a little bit bigger, and unfortunately you can't choose full width for anything that isn't automatically selected, so you kind of have to pick and choose what you like. Reorganizing your collections makes it easier for you to get to where you're trying to get to quickly, which is where we bring up our next, that's right, it's Manny, it's for Manny, it's where we bring up our next MacWhisperer power tip. This power tip is this section here called pinned collections. Let me take a back step. Here we've got a ton of collections, right? We got recent days and featured photos and wallpaper selections and people and pets and albums and utilities and blah, 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 blah. Pinned collections is the granddaddy of all of them because you can use pinned collections to create a quick set of favorites to get you into any album, any person, any event, any collection. You do it by clicking on the modify button to the right of where it says pinned collections. Here at the top, you will see the current pins you've got. I've got quotes and my dad and favorites and people and pets. Down below, you've got other suggestions. Would you like a pinned collection of all your videos? Or maybe you need to quickly get to your selfies. Or you want quick access to things you recently deleted. You can add any one of those and they will join the list of pinned collections at the top. You can remove any you don't need by just clicking on the minus button and deleting, and you can reorganize by pressing on the lines and pulling up to the top. But the power of the power tip here comes all the way at the bottom where it says add any collection or album. If I click on that blue plus button here, it allows me to find any specific section of my entire library. So maybe I want to have something that's specific to find pictures of my son. Okay, that's done. I'll come back down here. Maybe I want to be able to get into a specific album quickly. So in this case, I'm going to go into my personal album and I'm going to go into my guitar pictures. Coming back down here, maybe I need to go to a specific shared album all the time, like my stupid license plates group. I'm going to add that. As you add each of them, they will join your pins and you can put them in whatever order you want. I'm going to clear up a couple of these that I don't actually need. I don't need recently saved and I don't need videos and I don't need selfies. I'm going to put guitar up to the top and get rid of recently deleted. And I'm going to press the X button to get out of it. Now I want you to notice that this pin collection section now represents the pinned collections that I chose. So I can click one button and get into all of my guitar pictures. I can click one button, get into all of my quotes. I can click one button. Where's my other one? I can click one button and go right into my stupid license plate group, which has ridiculously stupid license plates. I mean, Heisenberg. Okay, you're paying money every month for that. The pin collections is the easiest way to quickly get to where you want to go without going through multiple albums, multiple collections, and hunting around. Customize it and then go to the bottom, click Customize and Reorder, and move pinned collections all the way up to the top with whatever other collection you like on the right. I like the people and pets section there. And then as soon as you come into your photo library, you've got essentially your favorite collections, albums, photos, and people right at the top, making it super simple for you to get into anything that you want. Now, a lot of people feel overwhelmed by all of these separate pieces and all of these separate sections. If you're one of those people that feel overwhelmed, come into Customize and Reorder and turn off anything that you don't want to see. Then you will be less overwhelmed. But don't get rid of the pinned collections because it's going to be the fastest way to get to where you want to go. Period. Okay. One major piece here that we're going to talk about, I'm going to do it as quickly as I can without making you guys dizzy. Organizing photos matters. When somebody has a photo library with 50,000 pictures in it and they've never sorted anything, they will have a ton of duplicates and they will take forever to find the picture they want to show me. Forever. I watch them. I think it was in 2024. No, maybe it's in 2021. Gee, I think maybe it was in New England. I don't know. Maybe Frank was in the picture. I don't know where to find it. And they just scroll and scroll and scroll, wasting time. I don't play that game. I put things away. And I put things away into my albums, most notably. Bring that up here. So here, as we see my albums, I'm going to click on the albums title to show you the full album screen. You will see several albums, but you will also see something called a folder. Here's where we get complicated. Not really, but here's where most people, their eyes glaze over. When you are organizing pictures, it is very, very common for people to create albums. We're going to talk about how to do that in a second. But what happens is you create so many albums that you have 5,000 albums to deal with. For example, I love Halloween. And I took 52 pictures of last Halloween. And I took 100 pictures of the Halloween before that. And I took 600 pictures in 2022. I don't know why. That's like ridiculous, but it must have been great costumes. I don't know. At any rate, if you are regularly creating albums for something like Halloweens, you're going to have many of them. Halloween 2024, 23, 22, 21, 20. Listen, I'm 52 years old and I've been taking pictures since my first child was born 30 plus years ago. I got a lot of Halloween pictures. I don't want to trip across them. So instead of leaving albums by themselves, you can create folders that you can use to organize your albums. So here is the thing to write down for each of you. Just write it down. You're going to say it doesn't make any sense, and then you're going to run into a problem and you're going to read what I just said and you'll go, oh, here is the organization. Photos get organized into albums. Albums get organized into folders or subfolders. So when I have all of these Halloween pictures, they have all been collected together and put into a Halloween folder. But Halloween's just one of the holidays I take pictures a lot at. There's 4th of July, there's New Year's Eve, there's Thanksgiving, there's Valentine's Day. So all of those are inside of a folder called Holidays and Events. So Holidays and Events is the first folder, and then inside of it are all the separate holidays, and inside the separate holidays are all the albums for that holiday. Photos go into albums. Albums get sorted into folders. Photos do not go into folders. Folders do not go into albums. Photos go into albums. Albums go into folders. If you write that down, it will solve the first 5 problems you have when trying to sort, because they're all because you mix that up. So funny. I said that to my wife yesterday because we were looking over the smart guide, and she goes, "Is this written right? It's really not right. It should be photos go into folders." And I'm like, "See, you should have it written down, honey. You're wrong. Photos go into albums. Albums go into folders or subfolders." How do you create an album? All right, we're going to do it quickly here. I'm going to get us into our photo library by tugging down on it. There are several ways to create an album. The first way is click the select button in the upper right-hand corner and then either tap on the images that you want to select or run your finger across them like this. Let me do it. There we go. And you can do a whole bunch of them at a time. Once you've got the ones you want to have selected, click the share button in the lower left corner and scroll down to where it says add to album. It will ask you whether you're adding it to a current album or a new album. In this case, we're going to add it to a new album by clicking the plus button in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to call this album YouTube Live so I remember to delete it later. And then I'm going to click the create button. Now, here's the first part where people go, "But the pictures are still there." That's right. The pictures are still here because they have been added to an album, but they're still part of our library. If we want to have the pictures not appear, click your 3 dots, go into the filter, turn on the not in an album, and the ones that have moved to an album will disappear. Now I'm going to leave that setting on while we do the other way of adding to an album. We're going to start the same way. I'm going to click select. I'm going to grab a couple of different pictures here. Okay. Now, instead of pressing the arrow on the bottom left, I'm going to press and hold on any one of these pictures, and it's going to give me a pop-up list. And that pop-up list is going to have an option that says Add to Album. I can click on that, but I also want you to notice directly below where it says Add to Album, it says Add to YouTube Live, which is the album we just created. You see, the Photos app remembers the most recent album you put something in. So if this needs to go into that album again, I don't have to go select it. I can just grab it from this list. I'm going to do that, and I want you to watch as I do that. If all goes right, those pictures should actually disappear because we are sorted with that filter on. Hopefully. Remember, it's a new tool. I'm going to click Add to YouTube Live. Oh, they disappeared. They did their job. They are no longer shown in the library because I have a filter on, but they're still a part of your library. Don't get confused. You want everything in your library, whether it's in an album or not. Okay, so there is one other way, and this is going to count as a power tip from Manny. No, Manny doesn't get this one. Anthony English gets this one because he just joined, and he gets points for being a new. Anthony, this MacWhisperer power tip is just for you. It requires 2 hands. You can also do it on the phone. I'm going to select like we did before, same thing, but this time I'm going to press and hold and keep my finger down. So I'm currently holding it. You see me holding it there? I'm now going to tap on the upper left corner where I see the sidebar icon, and I'm going to drag this right into YouTube Live and release it. That's right, you can drag and drop on the iPad, just like on the computer, but keep your finger on the screen while you're doing it. I think that's a pretty cool power tip, Anthony. I hope it was worth it for you. Thank you for becoming a member. I love that. So I'm going to now get out of here, get out of our photo library. And I just want to talk about creating folders, because you don't create folders from there. You create folders from the album section. And I know that doesn't make sense, but again, Apple doesn't ask me where to put things. They should, but they don't. So just to reiterate, if you want to organize things into albums, if you want to organize albums into folders, go to your album section, and in the upper right corner, click where it says create and click new folder. In this case, I'm going to call this my YT Live Picks. and I'm going to click create. But before I click create, notice that it says add albums right there. What's going to happen if I click that? Oh, it's going to ask what albums I want to put into this folder. Well, hell, let's put the YouTube Live album in there. That is now in there. I'm going to click create. Once you have created a folder, it's easy for you to add other albums to it. I'm going to take this Halloween 2024 album and just drag it right over. Last thing I'm going to say before we cut so we have time for other stuff. If you look at your albums, you can tell the difference between a folder and an album very easily. The folders have a 4 square icon to the left of the name of the folder. You'll notice like Dylan Pics shows 4 separate pictures of Dylan. Holidays and Events shows 3 separate pictures. Meanwhile, if you look at the Palisades Fire one, or the WhatsApp wallpapers or stickers one at the bottom, those are just albums. You can see they aren't showing 4 separate images on the left. Therefore, they're just standard albums. Albums can easily go into folders, but don't forget, folders can also go into folders. So you can take a folder and move it into another folder, creating a subfolder within it. And here inside our YouTube master folder is the YouTube Live Picks subfolder that has 3 albums in it: Stickers, Halloween, and a YT Live with all the pictures of my mom and her new boyfriend at our wedding anniversary. Ta-da. I think that's my ta-da. But you have a rim shot for me, Frank? Something?
I feel like I'm on the Howard Stern show. Good stuff. I learned a lot as usual.
So here's where we're going to get complicated. I know that we're going to talk about the smart guide. We're going to talk about the membership. I also have one more thing I'd like to talk about, or we can do questions. I doubt that we'll have time for both. So I'd like you guys to decide. If you want to take questions, put it into the chat. Just let us know. Just say questions. If you want to have the other lesson, just type in lesson and do that while we talk about this next section, and we'll figure out where we go next. See, it's like a choose your own adventure YouTube Live today.
I like it. Let's get everybody the smart guide, because I know a lot of people count on that. Excuse me.
Hot off the presses. I was working on it this morning.
I saw everybody moving around and bringing proofs to you, and you're like, no, do this. This has got to change. I was like, oh, it's going to be a good one. We got a
Yeah,
bunch of pages
I do a lot of work on photos in general. This is the first time I've spent this much time on photos on the iPad, and I was really pleasantly surprised by how it worked. Would I say that you could use photos on the iPad instead of a computer? Not if you have a computer. Computers are still a little bit easier, but if you focus on an iPad or it's one of your main devices, this smart guide is going to make it easy for you to get around, organize, and manage your photos like never before.
Yeah. Really a nice job by the team. And thanks for getting in there and putting the final touches on it.
Awesome.
So as always, this is our gift to you. Please download it. Hit that QR code. You can use the short URL as well. Share it with your friends. Enjoy. Tell everybody what a great time we're having here. It looks like lessons wins out, or the lesson, extra lesson wins out, Dylan.
Sure looks like it. Let's talk about the membership first. I'm going to answer one of the questions that I see here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody said, Lorna, we put up the Lorna Payne one. If we do all these things, will it sync on the computer? As long as you have iCloud Photos turned on in the settings section of all of your devices, 100%. The intention of iCloud Photos is that you have one photo library that you can organize or access from any device. So whatever you put into folders, whatever you put into albums, whatever you delete, whatever you edit, will all get done on all of your devices, provided you have iCloud Photos turned on in every one of your devices under the settings section. There's a bunch of other questions that are popping up here. I'm not going to get into them. I will answer Holly, who says, what is utilities in pin choices? Utilities is one of the collections that has things such as recently saved, recently deleted, duplicates, and other things like that. There's also another collection called media types, which separates out photos, videos, screenshots, and other things. Those two utility sections, to me, they're both interchangeable, are extremely valuable, but most people only need one or two of those sections. So look at what's available in the utilities collection, look at what's available in the media types collection, and then go to the pinned collections and add only the settings that you need access to. If you're constantly needing the recently saved section, if you're constantly needing your screenshots, put them in the pinned collection. We're going to talk about the MacWhisperer Academy for just a moment. And Frank, please make a note of this. Next time we do this, I don't want it to say MacWhisperer membership. I want it to say MacWhisperer Academy.
Yeah.
We're trying to differentiate YouTube membership and the MacWhisperer Academy because they're completely separate animals. The MacWhisperer Academy is my baby. I have, for the last 20 years, been teaching people how to use Apple devices on a one-on-one basis. During the pandemic, I launched a subscription-based academy that costs $100 a year and gives you 2 live classes every month, 2 question and answer sessions every month, and a ton of other perks and resources. This is the best way I've found to share the wisdom I've got to as many people as possible. We're offering you a 30-day free sign-in if you want to check it out. Our next class is tomorrow. What are we working on tomorrow? Do you have the list?
I do.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's photos. It might be communication.
It's the following week is photos.
So if you're interested in learning more and digging deeper, if you like what you're seeing here and you just wish there was more interaction and personality to it, check out the Academy, sign up for a trial, come visit for a couple of classes. If it's not for you, no harm, no foul. I don't want people there that don't want to be there. But for most of my members, and many of them are on this chat right now, this is a critical element to enforce what we're learning on YouTube videos, YouTube lives, and help you solve your biggest technological hurdles without you making yourself or your family members crazy. I really, I love what we're doing with the Academy. We've had a lot of growth in it this year, and it is now being held on Fridays and Saturdays. So there's a Friday class and a Saturday class, and I'd love to see you be a part of it. If you have any questions, please email Frank at themacwhisperer.com, and he will talk to you about any questions you've got about the membership. But remember, this QR code only shows up here. We don't really share this in other places. Okay.
It's about
Good.
communications tomorrow. So we're getting into Safari, mail, contacts, messaging, the type of thing. I put my email in the comments. I'm known to give out free invitations if you want to be my guest at classes. So email me and with any questions as well. And we only make this available 30 days free here on the live broadcast, just so everybody knows.
And I was called out for misspeaking.
On
I was
what?
called out. I said $100 a year, and that is 100% incorrect. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Mark, both members. $100 a month, not a year. My apologies.
All right.
Let's get into this lesson. We got 7 minutes. I can do it.
All right. Let's hit it.
All
iPad up.
right. iPad up. Photo library in. We're going to talk really quickly about editing photos in your photo library. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of powerful tools. Let's find a picture we want to fix. I think we'll fix this one here. Yeah, I'll fix that one. All right, so when you click on a picture down at the bottom, you've got several options. You've got the share option, the favorite option, the get info option, and to the right of that, what looks like settings. It's a bad icon. Again, Apple didn't ask me, but that button that looks like settings is actually edit. Clicking on that will enter you into the edit mode. On the left side of edit mode, you will see different tools that you can use. Depending on how the picture was taken, you may have different options. This particular picture was taken in portrait view. Because of that, I've got portrait options. I'm going to start up at the top by clicking on styles. When you click on styles, to the right side, you will see multiple different styles that you can engage. Each of these styles is like a filter, but what's really cool is that you can adjust it. So let's find one that we don't hate. I kind of hate all of them, Frank. Sorry to say. We're going to do the rose gold one. When you find one that you like, if you tap on it, it will bring up the style guide and allow you to adjust it even further by moving your finger around until you make it exactly how you want it. I think that's about where I want it, a little more color there. You can also use the slider at the bottom to add or change the color. I'm going to leave that one right here. I think that's good enough. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to crop this picture. The tool 2 from the bottom is the cropping tool. Be aware that when you're cropping, you don't want to make it a weird size. So a lot of people tend to just automatically grab things and then just make it into a really odd size, and then they go to print it and it prints funny. There is a guide for cropping that you see up at the top of your toolbar right here. So that guide, you can see it turned black up at the top. That guide gives you different options. Is it a vertical picture or a horizontal picture? I can change that just like that. Is it a 4x5 picture, a 5x7, or something else? Be aware that those are there to help. Now, once you've got it with the right size, you can pinch in or spread out to find the exact part of the picture that you want. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get with that particular picture. And then we're going to come back out of crop by clicking the done button in the upper right hand corner. Okay, back into here. The portrait tools allow you to change the lighting and also to change the blur behind you. Up at the top of your screen, you'll see this little V4.0 and these little tools up at the very top. I know it's a little hard to see. That changes between lighting, which is the one on the left, and focus modes, which are on the right. You can then use your slider on the left or right. Look in the background right now. We can kind of see the city behind me clearly. As I blur it, now we've got a nice bokeh effect behind us because of that portrait. I'm going to click up here. We're just going to change until I find a little bit of a better color scheme. I think I'm going to probably have to leave it right there. Again, not the best job on this, but I'm going to click on the adjust button here. And here's where you get to do the biggest work on your photo editing. If you look over to the right side, there's an auto button. Clicking that will attempt to automatically color correct your photo and make it a little bit better. Did okay. Down below that, we've got tons of tools from exposure, brilliance, highlight, shadows, contrast, saturation. Let's saturate that a little better, give me a little bit of color in my face. And you can use each of these tools, and they've all got this really incremental slider allowing you to find what you need and make a picture perfect. Now, again, not a great picture to make perfect, but you get the basic idea of it. The other thing I want to talk about here exists for any iPad that has Apple Intelligence. You have a feature called Cleanup. Cleanup is down at the bottom of your tools here. With Cleanup, waiting for it to open. First time you click on it, it may take a moment, as it's doing for me. Once you've got it, you can circle any part of your picture or rub over any part of your picture to have AI remove that from the picture. In this case, I really don't want this plate of food in front of me. So I'm going to just circle it. Well, it didn't get rid of the plate, but it got rid of the food perfectly. So we're just going to call that about as good as we're going to get in this case. I could probably try it again and see if I can really get it to remove the plate. Let's see. There we go. No plate, no dessert. Fix that up perfectly. When you're done with these things, you can click the done button. Now, I'm going to talk about one other thing for a moment, and that is your markup toolbar up at the top. If you have your Apple Pencil and you use the markup toolbar, you can come into any one of these tools. Come on, give me back my tools. And you can write directly on the screen. See if I can make anniversary. Just like that, click the done button, and you have now created a photographic masterpiece right from your iPad that you can quickly send off to your wife, or my wife in this case, and let her know you were thinking about her. Being able to edit photos on the iPad is amazing. The Apple Pencil really helps with fine-tuning pieces of it and allowing you to do things like markup, stickers, and all sorts of other tools. Oh, last piece. Really important piece. Ever make edits to a photo, Frank, and then decide after the fact you don't like the edits and you want to go back to what it was before?
Yes.
Yes. Up at the top, to the right of the cancel button is this white square and black square. Tapping on that will show you what the picture looked like before your edits. Like that. Which do we like better, the close-up one or the far one? I think I like the close-up one, but if you don't want to keep your settings, in the upper right-hand corner, you can click revert. But here's the really cool part. If you saved it and forgot about it for months, and then months later we're like, you know what? I want to go back to before I edited that. You can press and hold on any picture, click where it says revert to original, and it will take you right back to before you made the changes. And that can be done hours, days, weeks, or even years after you made the edit. So you can go back to that picture that you screwed up, Frank, and just revert it, even though it was 8 years ago. That's what I've got for photos on the iPad. There's a ton of other tips and tools. Here's the cool part. My YouTube video for this week is an expansion of this lesson. So it should be out on Saturday. We're doing the final edits on it right now. So if you want more of what you saw today, make sure to check out that video on Saturday. I do release my videos between 3 o'clock and, between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock Pacific time on Saturdays. Make sure you've got your notifications set so that you always hear when I drop new content. That's what I've got for our lesson today, Frank. You want to bring us back to the full screen?
Yes, I do. And that was exactly 60 minutes.
Mark asks why he doesn't see styles. As nearly as I can tell, it shouldn't have to do if it's a live photo. You should still be able to affect styles. I'm not sure if it's an operating system or a device issue, but you and I can separately talk about that, Mark. Why? Because Mark's a member of the MacWhisperer Academy, and we have a Q&A coming up. So please bring that question, and you and I will solve it if you don't solve it first, Mark. You know, I mangled Mark's name at one of these live broadcasts. So I'm going to say it properly. It is Mark Champagne. And Mark, you're awesome. Thank you for being here. I think we're ready to wrap, yeah?
Yeah, any final words? Otherwise, we'll see the Friday members tomorrow.
Your technology is simultaneously the best thing to ever happen to you and the worst thing to ever happen to you, depending on whether you learned how to use it or not. It can steal hours and hours and hours away, or it can give you enough time to write the great American novel. The only difference is you learning how to use the tools properly and effectively. And I'm here to help you do that. Frank's also here to help you do that. We love to see you here every Thursday. If you're not a member yet, got a couple of weeks, and then join us. We'd love to see you there. If you have questions about the Academy, please let Frank know, and we will see you next week, where I think we've got another iPad lesson. We're doing iPad Mail next week.
I'm not positive.
Okay. Just for reference, we're building an iPad masterclass right now, and so I'm digging into all sorts of iPad topics, and they make great YouTube videos. So if you've got suggestions, let me know. I'm always looking for the next great video to make. Thank you all for being here.
Take care, everybody.